Hi folks, it's Paul Harrison here, and thank you very much for joining me on this video. What I'm going to be giving you is a presentation as to something I call why you can't lose weight and actually keep it off. Basically, it starts with there's a secret out there that we've all been brainwashed with when it comes to weight loss. In this short time we have together, I'm going to uncover the secret, and I will show you exactly why 99% of people who go on diets put that weight back on. And a lot of the time they put the weight back on and a little bit more as well. I'm also going to show you the exact way as to how you can overcome this problem and make changes to be slimmer, healthier, and live a better standard of life. So who am I talking to? Well, as I'm sure you're aware, much of society currently is trapped in an obesity epidemic. This is a graph that I got from one of the government websites actually, which shows the percentage of obesity prevalence. That means the percentage of people, males and females, that obesity is prevalent to, and you can see obviously that is increasing over the years as well. More and more people are becoming obese. So it's no rocket, it's no huge innovation that basically we have a problem here. A UK government website has actually published that by 2050 obesity is predicted to affect 60% of adult men, 50% of adult women, and 25% of children. Even watching the news, I'm sure that you're aware of this epidemic. So who am I to talk to you? My name's Paul Harrison. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the founder and creator of MOBIvation.com. I'm also a stock market trader and trainer. I've traded a private portfolio on the US stock market for 7 years. I've also taught people how to trade the stock market across Europe for the last 4 years now as well. I was voted the Business Innovator of the Year for 2011, and I was runner-up as the South African Entrepreneur of the Year for 2012. What I received those awards for was MOBIvation.com, which is the service that I've set up and built. And that's a text messaging service that helps people make long-lasting personal change. Now, bear in mind the success we've had with this. We've actually taken people from Joe Public to some of the top stock market traders in the UK. We've also taken some of the fastest moving business builders and experts in their fields, be that internet marketing, property investing, or small business startups. So we've helped people make long-lasting personal change in different areas, primarily areas of making money and doing business. I'm also currently obese. I'm about 40 kilograms or 88 pounds or 6.5 stone overweight at the moment, whichever currency you talk in. I've always yo-yoed. I've always had a problem with my weight. I've dieted a lot, but I've always yo-yoed with my dieting. I've lost weight, then put it back on, maybe the same as yourself. Now, towards the end of 2012, I felt very heavily overweight and thought to myself, you know, why, if I'm able to help people make these changes, am I not able to help myself achieve the weight that I want to be? There's something fundamentally wrong there. If I'm able to help all these other people become more successful, make more money, why am I not able to deal with myself? So what I decided to do was I decided to make a change. I decided that I was going to take what I'd used to help people make changes in trading stocks or making money or building business, and use it to actually help people lose weight, but more importantly to actually keep it off. Losing weight is one thing, we've all lost weight before, but keeping it off is where it's important. But I wanted to bring other people with me. So I decided that I was going to set up a weight loss testing group to lose the weight and give them the skills to actually manage their weight moving forward. In a very short amount of time, the specific strategies that we're using has shown to have some massive results. But our focus is not just on getting to the target weight, but it's keeping it off as well. Okay, so very important. When we get to the target weight, that's great, but keeping it off for the rest of our lives, that's the goal. Okay, so what currently happens? Well, why is it that something like 99% of people who lose weight will put on, when they're on diets, will put the weight back on, and possibly even more? Why is that? This is the secret as to why this happens. Because diets are working on the wrong end of the problem. Diets are working on the wrong end of the problem. Diets are currently focusing on the following. They tell you what to eat. They tell you what not to eat. And they tell you what exercise to do. Which is all great. It's all good stuff. Because there's a very simple equation about weight loss. And the equation is that if you burn more calories than you eat, you will lose weight. That's not rocket science. If you burn more calories than you eat, you will lose weight. But they're missing the point. They're dealing with the symptom, not the problem. Everyone knows what you have to eat in order to be healthy. Everybody knows this. Particularly in the first world where education is pretty good. I know we get knocked a lot of the time, but education is pretty good. We all know that if you just eat your 5 fruits and veg a day, you'll lose weight. The major problem is these diets are dealing with what to eat. They're not dealing with the factors that make people overeat and under-exercise. Without dealing with these factors, people will never lose weight and keep it off. You may drop the weight initially, but you won't be keeping it off because you're dealing with the symptom, not the problem. The way that let me give you this analogy with regards to the way that most diets work. If you're doing the gardening and you see a weed in your garden, if you trim that weed, you know that the weed will just grow back, don't you? It's pretty obvious. If you can trim it back, but it's just going to grow back. You know that if you want to get rid of the weed, you're going to need to take the entire weed out, roots and all. If you completely take out the reason why it grows, then it won't grow back. This is why diets fail. They are doing the equivalent of trimming the weed. It gets you a short-term solution, but these results are normally very, very short-lived. So what is the solution? Well, that's a very good question. A very good question. The research that I've undertaken over the last 7 years has brought me to this conclusion. Now, please remember, folks, that I've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people make long-lasting personal change and receive prestigious awards for this research and also, obviously, for the solution. The problem is that it comes down to how we perceive ourselves. It comes down to the values and beliefs that we hold about ourselves on a subconscious basis. Does that sound kind of weird? If it does, then you're not alone. Because most people I explain this to go, huh? What? Let me put this into an example for you. Someone who's overweight it might be easy to imagine someone who's overweight actually being able to eat a whole pizza by themselves, or eat cakes or sweet things regularly, or drink alcohol excessively as well. All of these things you could imagine someone who's overweight doing. I know I've certainly done all of those things. But would you be able to imagine an elite athlete doing these things regularly? Probably not. Probably not. Why? The reason comes down to the values and beliefs that we have about ourselves. They dictate our behaviors on a day-to-day basis. It's what we believe, the fundamental values and beliefs that we have dictate all of our day-to-day behaviors. Slim people eat and exercise in a slim way, and therefore it's easy for them to maintain their goal weight. Overweight people eat and exercise in an overweight way, and hence it becomes difficult for us to lose weight. I hope this is making sense. I really do. So how do we change our values and beliefs? Well, within the beta testing group, this is what we do. Step 1 is you complete a questionnaire that will give us an idea of where you believe your challenges currently are. Step 2 is we have weekly coaching support calls that provide training and support. And step 3 is we use MOBIvation text messages, the business innovation of the year for 2011, to work on your subconscious mind. So step 1, the questionnaire, what this does is it gets you to identify what's stopping you. And it's so powerful when you actually sit back and think, what has stopped you? What has stopped you from losing weight before? Helps you point out your true motivating factors as well, and what really is going to drive you to have a healthy weight and live a healthier lifestyle. And when you identify those true motivating factors, it's very powerful. It also allows us to know how to help you and what you need in order to be successful. And it makes you aware of what has not worked in the past. When you start questioning these things, you start coming up with solutions. It's really very, very, very powerful. Then we have the weekly webinars, which are designed to keep your momentum high whilst losing the weight. Because initially, it's only going to get easier. Okay, so when you start, that's going to be the most difficult time. But as you become more consistent, you're seeing the results, that's when it gets easier. But we're going to keep your momentum high whilst you're going through the learning curve, whilst losing the weight to begin with. Also allows you to enjoy a supportive, friendly environment that will hold you to account and celebrate your success as a supportive team. We have some phenomenal people on this group. I'm very, very proud of them. We also have guest speakers that will come along from time to time as well, and they'll give you some of the best guidance on nutrition, fitness, and weight loss as well. Most people know what they've got to do to get to become healthy. But these people will be able to answer any further questions you have, or really give you some really refined tips on these things as well. It can really help you. And also you get all your questions answered. So it's not just like one person speaking. You can have opportunity there where if you have questions, they get asked and answered. A lot of the time, actually, I'll ask people about their experiences, and we share them as a group. We had one last week, which is absolutely phenomenal. And people really, getting ability to talk about what they're going through and everything like that. Really very, very helpful and very powerful as well. Then, of course, the MOBIvation text messages. Now, these are scientifically designed text messages that will help you keep focused on your goals. They were developed over the last 5 years with the help of hypnotherapists, psychotherapists, neuroscience and NLP practitioners, and they'll remodel your values and beliefs about yourself on a subconscious basis. Very powerful. They'll also keep your motivation very high to achieve your goals, and they'll teach you little secrets, insights, and understandings that will help you shed those unwanted pounds, and more importantly, keep them off. As I said again, I was awarded the Business Innovator of the Year for this concept in 2011. Now, what do I need from you? Well, a few weeks ago, I started the original beta testing group, and we've had some incredible results, not just on the weight loss, but the people are actually starting to behave differently, and they're interrupting a lot of their old patterns, which is fantastic. We've also learned a hell of a lot. Now, I want to take this to a bigger audience, so I want to get down to more testing, okay? Because this is really what's important. The only thing that matters to me is the outcome. The people are successful. If they're not successful, I need to know why. So the reasons for not losing weight in the past. This is one of these questions that we put to the people in the questionnaires. And what I'm going to do over the next two little subjects here is I'm going to give you responses I've received from clients filling out the questionnaire. So the question was to the clients, what are the reasons for not losing weight in the past? One of the responses was a real lack of motivation. I have good intentions for a couple of weeks, then fall off it. Again, if you can relate to what these people are saying, you're exactly the same as the people we've got on our beta testing group that are making these changes now. Another person said the motivation and core inner beliefs, negative self-image and a belief that I'm not good enough and unworthy. Someone who's got this belief about themselves, a core inner belief that they're not worth being healthy and being slim as well. Then somebody else saying there's too much stress in the job and problems in the job. How many times do we know about this? Whenever we have stress or something, the first thing we're going to do is overconsume, be that food or we go out for a couple of drinks or something like that. There's different ways of being able to handle these things. Let me give an example here. Is one of the things we made the change with this individual particularly is he said, whenever he's overstressed, he's consuming too much. But then I said to him, what does an athlete do? When an athlete's stressed, they'll go for a run. Now that's a productive way of being able to manage your weight. Why do my clients want to lose the weight? Now, this was the question as to really finding out the core motivating factors. Why do people want to lose weight and keep it off? And these were the responses, and some of them incredibly powerful. If you can relate to these, you're very similar to a lot of people we're working with at the moment. This is one of the responses. I need to be healthier. If I don't do it now, it's only going to become harder to lose the weight. I have a baby girl and we want to have another child in the next couple of years. So I want to make sure that I'm going to be healthy / alive to look after them and provide for them. Very powerful motivating factors there. Another person said, I feel my self-confidence has dropped as a result of being overweight. Probably don't go out as often and missing out on social life for fear of what people may think about me or judge me without even knowing who I truly am. And how often do we feel that? I mean, you know what I'm saying about that. Somebody else said having problems buying clothes and also feeling bad about myself. I've had problems going out and trying to buy just a work shirt or something, because I've got a 17.5-inch neck or 17-inch neck, and the shops just don't. Normal walk-in shops, you can't buy sizes like that. We have somebody else who said, I've always struggled with my weight up and down like a yo-yo. It gets harder as I get older. And that's another thing, A lot of people believe that genetically they are predisposed to getting weight, which may well be true, but one thing's for sure, as we get older, it gets more difficult to actually lose the weight. Somebody else said, wearing the clothes I want to wear, as I can only fit into 3 sets of clothes at the moment. Feeling comfortable around the people I work with. All this person's wanting to do is be able to find clothes that fit her, and that she can actually feel comfortable and confident in as well. And feeling comfortable around the people that she works with. So at the moment, obviously, she doesn't feel confident with that, but she's losing weight. She's making some fantastic strides as well. I'm very, very, very proud of her. Then somebody else said, I think it affects my job prospects, my dating prospects, and just the way people relate to me. I think you often get overlooked when you're overweight and people assume you're greedy and lazy. If you've been in that situation, particularly if you're looking to start a new job, or if you're interviewing, or if you're dating or something like that, you know as well as I do, if you're slim and you're feeling good about yourself, you just come off so much better when you're interacting with other people. Then another person said, I'm diabetic, so I need to lose the weight. Now that's a motivating factor right there. This individual's got some young children as well. But again, somebody who's changing their behaviors now, which is absolutely awesome. This is continued now as well. To gain more energy needed for both my business and my lifestyle, help with self-esteem, live a longer life. This is an entrepreneurial client of mine who really, if you've built a business, it takes a lot of energy, and obviously increasing the self-esteem as well and live a longer life. Not being able to fit into my suit, or just being able to take a walk, or not being able to go full out physically, like jumping, running, and being happy. That's one of the reasons why somebody's got to make these changes at the moment. If I don't lose weight, I have a very real risk of diabetes. That's another client. So I can move better, no more back pain, or no more pain, back or knees. I want to be more confident, more energy. When I lost weight before, I felt awesome and could move so much better and fit in any clothes I want. This is somebody saying obviously they've lost a lot of weight before, but then again they've just put that weight back on again. We can all relate to this again, This is the reason I've got to do this, folks. I've got to do this for people. I've got to help people, and not just my own journey, but with other people too. And then somebody else saying it's having an effect on my self-confidence. I sometimes don't want to go anywhere or even just have fun when shopping. How often do we feel overweight and you don't want to go out on a Friday night? This individual actually was telling me that she turns down invites to go out and have a couple of drinks with the girls who are getting all dressed up to go out because she just doesn't feel worthy of that anymore. And that's a crazy place to be, but it's realistic. So back to the MOBIvation text messages. As I said, they're scientifically designed text messages that help slimmers achieve long-lasting weight management success. The concepts developed over the last 5 years with hypnotherapists, psychotherapists, and NLP practitioners. They're going to keep your goals on front of mind, so you're always mindful of really your goals and how good you're going to be looking when you actually achieve all the success. They also start powerfully reconditioning your self-identity. So they're going to be providing you with really some new identities that you can be using moving forward. How do these messages work? As I said, they're scientifically designed formula that uses advanced human behavioral techniques, including the reticular activating system, auto-suggestion, bespoke personality profiling, so it's just for you. They're 100% personalized messages as well. 100% personalized messages. There's also a different text message every morning, so it's always something new, something fresh, something to engage your mind in a slightly different way. And they connect you with that peak motivated state. Now, what I mean by that is when you make a decision to do something, you're in a peak motivated state. You're all fired up. Maybe it's that New Year's Eve resolution that you made. At that time, you were motivated. You were in a very strong state. The reason people slip back a lot of the time is because they lose that motivational state. They move out of that state. They move into maybe like a depressed state or something like that. But every day, if I can reconnect you with that motivated state, then you're going to be very successful. They also stop life from getting in the way of our goals. And I tell you, I work with so many people who are trying to make long-lasting personal change. Life getting in the way is always going to try and stop you from achieving something. This is what these text messages will battle as well. They'll go out and they will actually keep your goals in front of mind. They also give you little secret strategies and insights to help you with your weight loss. So it's not just about the motivation stuff, although motivation is important. They also provide you with some strategies, some insights and understandings that really help you with that weight loss there as well. That's one day at a time. Sometimes you're going to have good days, sometimes you're going to have bad days, but every day is a new day, and really these messages are going to keep that focus for you as well. The support group, obviously we have the weekly webinars for all of us to get onto, share our experiences, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and really keep a momentum high. It's so important to keep that momentum high for each other, because if you've got momentum, you can achieve anything. We also hold each other to account in a very supportive and friendly environment. It's not like maybe you would know a certain company that has weigh-ins and things like that. Whilst I think that is important sometimes, I think also people can get a little bit disheartened if they know that they're not going to be making the weight or what have you. So this is a supportive, friendly environment that does hold people to account. You also have more dedication if you don't do it alone. So, if you know that you're going through a tough time, if you're having a bad day, you just want to go out and, have a couple of glasses of wine, or you want to go out and eat a hot dog or a donut or what have you, then you're not doing this whole thing alone. You've got other people you're working with here that we're here to support you with this as well. This is a beta testing group, folks. It is a beta testing group. It's not the finished product or anything like that. That's why I'm looking for people to join me on this. So it's only for people who are truly committed to being successful with losing weight and, more importantly, keeping it off. It's for people who truly believe that they can actually lose weight. If you've lost weight before, that's great. That part qualifies you. But you need to believe that you actually can lose the weight. I would actually prefer to have less people than more, because I can actually then keep in more regular contact with you. okay, particularly in the early days. So now I guess it's time to find out who's committed. Now please remember, when I have documented the process that my clients will maintain, people would be prepared to pay hundreds of pounds to get involved. I know when I was at my heaviest before I started this whole course, I probably would have paid thousands to have something that I knew worked and was taking it from a completely new angle. Okay, so how much would you be willing to pay to achieve and maintain your ideal weight and enjoy great health and boundless energy? £5,000? £2,500? £1,000? What do the alternatives cost you? What is everything else out there that deals with the symptom as opposed to the problem? What does that deal with? What is that going to cost you? A personal trainer 3 times a week for 1 hour at £50 per hour. It's going to be £600 per month. Visiting a dietitian is probably going to be another £100 a month if you only visit once. That's an additional £700 per month that you're already going to be paying out. But let's make it a little bit more sort of what more people do. Let's go maybe one Starbucks coffee 5 times a week at £3. What's that? £60 per month. And that's not really going to help you with your weight loss either, or your health either. So there's going to be a cost involved. Obviously, there's going to be a cost involved. First, you have to do a lot of work on this to actually help you identify your motivating factors and your goals. There's also significant financial costs in both time and sunken costs in developing, building, and sending the personalized text messages to you. There's also the cost of the webinar software and the time to hold them, upload them, and personalize them for you as well. Also, financial investment in yourself also commits you emotionally. It puts leverage on you and gives you the best chance of success. I see it all the time with people who want to come to learn to trade the stock market. They come along and say, okay, we want to learn to trade, but we don't have the money to pay £2,000 for the weekend. So let's just do it for free, and then we'll pay you the money back when we start making profits. And the fact of the matter is, people don't have that level of commitment to it if they haven't put any money into it. They don't have any skin in the game, so to speak. So that financial investment in yourself is what's going to commit you emotionally as well. The only thing that matters, and I'll say this again, the only thing that matters after you've invested in yourself is that you get the result you're after. That's the only thing that matters to me. Trying hard doesn't matter. The result is the only thing that matters to me. That's the only focus we have on this. So here's the plan. Following the success of the first batch of beta testing group clients, I'm opening the group up for another batch of people to come through and actually make this change with us. We are still testing this, and this is why the investment to get involved with the group is so affordable. So if you're truly committed to becoming slimmer, healthier, and doing this with me, then it's going to be a refundable £79 deposit to confirm that you'll be part of the program starting in the next few weeks. Okay. This deposit is refundable if you have been on the program for at least 4 months and have not got the results that you're after. So if you haven't achieved the results you've after 4 months, then I will refund your deposit, your £79. Okay, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight. 4 months, I mean, it's 4 months that's going to dictate the rest of your life, but you know, it does need to happen over a certain amount of time, and 4 months is the target time frame that we've allocated. So that is a refundable deposit after those 4 months. From there, I'll be charging £9.70 per month for the text messages, and that's a text message every single day. Normally with the other niche markets I have, it's £9.70 per month, but you only get them during the week. These are every single day, and then there's an additional £25 per month for the webinars and for the coaching. You can cancel this at any time if you feel that it's not working for you, but in order to get your deposit back, I do need you doing this for at least 4 months of working with the program. If you don't do this for 4 months, then you're really not giving yourself a good chance of achieving this for the longer term. That's really what we're after, is the longer term success with this. And I want to limit the number of people on this, so first come, really first confirmed. So think about it. How much better would you feel if you hit your target weight and was able to manage it? How much more confidence would you have? How much more energy would you have for family, friends, or work? How much more attractive would you feel? There's no better feeling than feeling attractive. You know what I mean. And how good would you feel when people started noticing the weight loss and actually commented on it and asked you what you were doing? How much more would you actually live your life? So are you really committed? Most people won't be, and that's absolutely fine. But for those who are committed, please come and join us. What have you got to lose apart from the additional weight? Now, make me a promise on this. Please don't say to yourself that you want to think about it. I won't be chasing up or anything like this. Don't say that you want to think about it. Make a decision, yes or no. You know in your heart whether it's the right thing for you or not. Okay? Saying you want to think about it is a coward's way out, and saying that, I want to think about it, because then at least you're not admitting to yourself that you said no. But ultimately what happens is this moves from front of mind and you won't actually end up making a decision. Then you'll be watching this video in 6 months' time when you're older, you've put on a little bit more weight, and you're in a tougher place. So say yes or no, please, on this. If it's no, that's fantastic. If it's yes, that's even greater. Okay, so if you're committed, let's make this happen. Myself and the group are changing our lives, and I would love for you to come and join us on this journey. So to secure your place, please go to MOBIvation.com. That's www.MOBIvation. It's like motivation, but with a B instead of a T. That's MOBIvation.com/slim apply. SLIMAPPLY. So that's www.MOBIvation.com/slim apply. Then the only thing really that is left to answer is, are you really committed to losing weight and feeling better? Ladies and gentlemen, I really, really, really appreciate your time. I hope it's given you some insight. If you have any questions, I'm not a hard man to find. So, yeah, please go to MOBIvation.com/slim apply, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.